What is up, y'all? Great evening. That's strange to say. Great evening, great afternoon. No, great evening. Look, I'm so used to saying great afternoon, but it is great evening. Happy and blessed Wednesday evening, y'all. And this is weird. This is different for me, but we gonna roll with it. So for those who are new here, welcome. My name is Catherine Barnett, and I go by Cat Barnett. And this is the Cat Barnett Podcast, episode 92. And I help women who struggle with confidence in their faith and fitness develop strategies and systems that lead them to gain clarity, direction, and purpose so that they can be fulfilled as they walk in their calling faithfully. And man, I'm just blessed, y'all. Like I'm just extremely blessed. I'm extremely grateful, encouraged right now. A lot of good things going on in my life, and just it's hard to explain and to put into words. But I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she helped inspire this episode. Shout out to Jasmine Mills. And we were kind of catching up and talking and just talking about how it's important to plant good seeds, right? And for those who, are Christians or believe in God and Jesus, you probably will know what I'm talking about when I say planting seeds and faith as small as a mustard seed. But I'm not going to get deep into that because I decided I'm going to do a part 2 of this episode of Sowing and Reaping. Today will just be strictly the universal episode. And next week, I'll do a biblical sense of this episode because, believe it or not, the law of sowing and reaping is a universal and moral principle, often rooted in biblical teachings. And I'll go over like biblical teachings of it next week. So it'll be a part 2. This will be like core principles, moral principles that we can use today, instead of that biblical sense of the sowing and reaping law. But like I said, yeah, it is a universal and moral principle often rooted in biblical teachings, stating that a person's actions, thoughts, and words directly determine their consequences. So similar and, much like agriculture, I like to compare it to that. What you choose to invest, which is the seed, determines exactly what you will experience in the future, which is the harvest. So today I want to just go over a few, actually, I'll go over 4 core principles of the law of sowing and reaping that you're bound to get if you sow and reap good or negative things. And then I want to, before we wrap it up, I'll give you, ladies and gentlemen, real life, real world applications that you can use in your daily life to incorporate the law of reaping and sowing. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as much as me. So if you're watching this live, definitely let me know where from live, or if you're watching the replay, let me know that as well. And throughout this episode, let me know as well if you're getting value, put value or a V, or if you can relate, put relate or R. So yeah, let's get into the core principles of the law of reaping and sowing. So number 1, you reap what you sow. And I think many of us have heard that mantra or that slogan, if you will, you reap what you sow. And breaking that down on a universal level, the nature of your harvest directly matches the nature of your actions. And what that means is planting negativity yields negative consequences, and also vice versa. So sowing kindness is going to bring more positive results in your life. It just goes hand in hand. It's kind of similar to like karma. Welcome, Miss Nettie, live from Florida. Thank you for being here on this beautiful evening, on this beautiful Wednesday evening. So yes, they go hand in hand. Number two is you reap in a different season. And so harvests do not happen instantly, right? It's not like that microwave success like so many of us want. But if you're really trying to reap what you sow, you don't want that microwave success, because when you are planting seeds, it's gonna require time, patience, and continued effort to see the ultimate results of your habits and choices. And I hope you guys are taking notes or getting what I'm putting down, because I'm really dropping gems in the most humbling way. I'm just trying to get you guys really equipped and armored up to start reaping what you're sowing. Um, Number three is you reap more than you sow. Number three is you reap more than you sow. And what that means is a single seed, a small seed, has the power to produce a multiplied yield, meaning one small choice can cascade or turn into a massive positive or negative impact over time. But it just depends where you're putting your energy, where you're putting your effort and time into that, which is the seed. So, on a biblical sense, just real quick, I'll talk about that more next week on part two of reaping what you sow. But I forgot where exactly. I don't want to say exactly where at in the Bible. It might be in Proverbs, where it tells you that if you have the faith as small as a single mustard seed, you can move mountains. And hence, that's this chain that I have on right now. If y'all can see it, it has a small seed with the mountain, which that's that saying. If I have faith as small as a mustard seed, I know I can do anything with Jesus Christ and God on my side. So that's just a reminder. I like doing that through necklaces. Um, so I hope you guys are getting value. Let me know if you're getting value. And number four, before I switch to real world applications that you guys can use in your everyday life, even starting tonight or tomorrow, is you cannot reap without sowing. You cannot reap without sowing. And what that means is you have the ability to proactively shape your life, your career, and relationships by intentionally putting in effort and care first. And that key word that I use in that sentence is intentionally. I think so many things in life, we don't keep them when we get them, or we don't grasp how important it is. We take them for granted because we're not intentional with the things in our life. So when you are intentional, you are focused and you are more um, likely to reach your goals than if you're not intentional and you're not focused. And I hope that makes sense in what I'm saying. So, switching into real world applications that you guys can use starting today or tomorrow. Before I end this episode, it's short and sweet today. Number one is relationships. And the older I get, this is just so important to me, because if you sow respect, understanding, and forgiveness, you will generally reap healthy, trusting relationships in return. And I think that just goes vice versa. You know, if you're gossiping, you all about drama and just about negativity, and not quick to forgive, you holding grudges, you will have unhealthy uh, and not trusting relationships in your life. Number two is, maybe I might be a little biased, but it might be my favorite, which is personal growth. That is number two. And no, that means, you're dedicating time to learning new skills or developing good habits, which in return will eventually yield the reward of knowledge and success in your life. Number three is finances. And I think a lot of people can relate in this aspect because so many of us have financial worry in our lives. And that can be very broad and complex, the definition of financial worry. So, um, finances, what I mean by that though is when you're, sowing generous giving and wise investments, you are laying the groundwork for financial security and future returns. That's what you will harvest. And vice versa, if you're not smart with your money, if you're not a saver, if you're just blowing your money, you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're not smart, you're not making wise investments, you're not investing in yourself, or you having a side hustle to give you another stream of income, you are not laying the groundwork for financial security, and you're in trouble. AI, like I talked about on a previous episode, whether you want to believe it or not, AI, you can use it for the good or the bad, but AI is getting more and more known in today's society. It's getting more advanced. It's taking over jobs. It's just crazy, and it's people are, instead of using it more to their advantage, unfortunately people are using AI as a crutch, and depending too much on it, where they're not using their own brains and mind, which I want to have a balance of AI in my life. Personally, that's just how I feel. um, and the last one before I wrap up this episode is boundaries. And in my early 30s, this is hard for me, but life changing, because I'm realizing that healthy boundaries mean that I want to keep you in my life. It doesn't mean I want to push you out. So anybody who doesn't respect your boundaries, this is a free game that I'm giving you. Um, Respectfully cut them out of your life, because they don't want to see you in a mentally good state, because boundaries are to help protect you and help your mental and help keep people in your life, not to shut them out. So anybody who doesn't respect your boundaries, whether it's your family or your friends or where you work, you need to limit or cut them out of your life. Just on a side note and some free game, because in personal development, the boundaries, are very important, because this teaches you that rescuing people from the natural consequences of their own irresponsibility ultimately stunts their growth. So I like to say, and a mentor got me thinking this. He's like, we don't help people who are on the struggle bus, meaning that we can help people if they want to help themselves, but if they're not trying to put in the work and they just got all the excuses in the book, we don't want to work with them, and we don't want them in our community. If that makes sense. I want to be around people like me, who are ambitious, who are driven, who are kind, who are generous, who are smart with their money. The list goes on and on. So if you don't have those type of values or beliefs, or if we don't share the same beliefs, I respect it, but I might not be hanging out with you. no disrespect or don't take it personally. But if we don't have things in common, I probably don't want to be around you. If you don't fall into my core values, or if it's not helping me grow, or it's not about faith and fitness, chances are you won't catch me there, or I won't be there, or I won't be around you. I mean, that's just how it is, and I'm not gonna apologize for that. But yes, so you know, um, before I wrap this up, this episode reminded me, especially the boundaries part, of this book that when I was in college on the basketball team, our coach, God bless her, she was amazing. My senior year, uh, she had us all read together, which I think is great. And it taught me, and I even want to go back and read this book because it was such a good book. It was called The Energy Bus by John Gordon. And it was so good because it was 10 rules to fuel your life, work, and team with positive energy. So uh, I recommend that book to anybody. It's good to read it so you can work with others in the workforce, in your job, or if you're building teams like corporations. It's good to know how to, be a leader and protect your energy. So I recommend that book to anybody who just wants to, protect your energy and protect uh who you let around you, because you know positive energy and having a consistent vision, optimism, enthusiasm, purpose, and a spirit are all good qualities that define great leaders and their teams. So you want to have great people around you, if you want to build strong teams. So, which is more free game I'm giving you guys. So, uh, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap up this episode. It's only always almost been 20 minutes longer than I thought it would be. So I just have fun doing these, y'all. And it's a lot of good things going on in my life right now. I'm working on my master class. It'll be free. I'm not gonna give out too much information about that yet till I can set more things in stone. But just know your girl is behind the scenes working on some great stuff, and just excited that the best is yet to come. The best is yet to still come. Oh, yes, 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 indeed. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great evening, a great night, and I'll catch you guys right back here next Wednesday. I think this is gonna be my new time. I'm really digging the 8 p.m.s, and now that I'm more of flexible with my schedule, I think I can make it work. So your girl is going to be more consistent again, but 8 p.m. until I change it or tell you guys otherwise will be my new podcast time. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great night. Peace, love, and blessings. God bless.